So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to I titled the scene the wrong thing and I need to fix it later. We are playing Voyager! Because Dark Ages Get of Fenris is best Get of Fenris. Wherein things have just been fucking splendiferous back on Sept. There is an announcement of a soon-to-be just so well-bred child in the village. And everyone's so happy. You know, honest to God though, like getting serious for a second. There has been a lot of celebration. There was definitely a party thrown. Absolutely. There was feasting, there was mead, there were stories, there were tales, there were bets made. So many bets over this child. Oh god. A lot of money's going to change hands when it is born and the gender's revealed. Let's put it that way, at the very least. Never mind whether or not it's a first change. So much betting over this child. But all in all, the village has been a pretty upbeat place. More and more Maya has been pulled off by the women of the village. So much chattering, so much gossiping, and Gaia help her a lot of repairing nets because, after all, we don't want her to do anything too strenuous, do we? And so, while naturally she is still latched onto Arn whenever the opportunity presents itself, more and more their days are split to where she is just surrounded by a flock of kinfolk. And even the occasional guru, and there's nattering and chattering. It's very much the a stitch and bitch over in the area where the netting is worked on by the older kinfolk, members of the kinfolk, and even the guru, who have become very grievously injured even, and thus can't man the ships, can't necessarily do the heavy labor, but they can still find ways to make themselves a benefit to the village, to make sure they're not taking more than they're giving. And today of all days, there's been some chattering and whatnot. Let's see. What does Arm get up to on your average day when he is not out raiding and pillaging, when he is not spending the entire day inside with his wife acting like a literal lamprey? Like, what does he do?
Tom fucking yawns as well.
Aha, gotcha.
Aaron wakes up pretty late into the day. No, he drank more than his fucking he can muster to a point. The amount of alcohol that went through that man last night, who knows? But it went through, and it went through very quickly. And thus he awakens in a tent, not his, upside down, weight kind of resting on the broad of his shoulders as his legs dangle in front of his eyes. The whole world flipped upside down, kind of in the slump of what would be a chair if he wasn't too big for it and may have crushed it in his attempt to sit, inverted commas. And thus, he rolls over to balance the weight from his lower/upper, since he's upside down half, kind of shifting over as he rolls over pretty heavily and with a massive thump, landing on the ground, picking himself up, looking around. He stands up, shaky-legged at first, just propping himself up against the large kind of log in the middle of the tent to just keep it held up. Rolls his shoulders, they crack. Something fierce. And then that smile comes on his face as he puffs out his chest and begins striding out. Of course, he's not affected by such mere mortal things. He is Arn, Skull's vanguard. And thus, as always, he will make his way to what he usually does, which is, albeit, not all that much. And he'll begin his patrols, because Arn takes his fair share in patrols.
Yep, there may be dedicated guardians that remain even when the raids go out, but when the raids are not out, there's no reason that Arn and other runes cannot contribute to the patrols. So he manages to get himself right side up, which really, golf clap for that one. There was probably, at the very least, a bucket of water from the spring left nearby. Whether he's going to drink it or douse himself with it is really anyone's guess, but some kinfolk saw him at rest, question mark, and had the wherewithal to leave that there for him. But as he is up and out and going on patrol, he'll start wandering off the appropriate direction. And as he's, getting onto the proper footpaths, the usual shit, he shall see approaching from exactly the same thing. This bitch.
And of course, as Arn made his way out, grabbing the water, attempting to do both, as stated above, drinking and dousing himself, to just kind of tipping it over an open mouth and just flooding his everything. He would have collected an apple and just, with a knife, just walking around, just slicing bits off, eating them, till eventually he sees
Sane.
Sane. Yes, I am in the right thing. Good. Sane. And he just, the smile.
That winning toothpaste commercial smile. Ting!
Damn right.
And of course, she's sauntering along at, just that casual pace you take when you've got to walk a huge circle of protectorate or nearbon. And so she doesn't necessarily speed up, but he'll see a hand shoot up and likewise see that just big, broad smile, because what Get Fenris Saroon isn't just an inherently happy person, really. They do love their jobs. They love them so good. And as she finally saunters up to the point where you would bypass each other, she, wings out an arm, meaning to clasp his, fairly obviously.
Of course, on the way up, he would have just thrown the apple, just like, bleh. Not the belt back in the knife back in the belt, more so. And of course,
like one's much easier than the other.
It is. It definitely would be. And he would, of course, slipping it through through his own craftsmanship, that hole he just kind of cut in the middle of it so he could just slot a knife there, because who doesn't need more knives? And he will clasp Sane's arm. Oh, yeah, forcing all of that strength that he has through it.
Oh, absolutely. She loves this game. The who can flex harder handshake, as it were, or arm clasp.
Exactly that.
Oh yeah, she makes a game of it too, and we'll flex into it. Maybe make a bit of a, not so much the hand crushing type of strength contest, but the little bit of you lean in until the two of you are kind of playing a whose feet are gonna slide, who's gonna step back first. Though after a bit of that, a bit of the kind of shovey game where you grasp a hold and press forward, we'll eventually finally give, take a step back, still smiling broadly. So, I saw you had your fair share. Glancing up at him, trying to, you see her eyes flick to yours, probably to try to assess whether or not you're still drunk. This is also potentially why she played the shoving game, to see if you would just lose it due to lack of balance.
He just smiles at her. Well, of course, Sane. I must drink like a Fenrir.
Oh, you did that.
Exactly. It's one of the things I'm very good at. Drinking, fucking, and killing.
I wouldn't put dancing on the list, though. I give you points for enthusiasm.
Well, there you go. That's why dancing is not on the list, Sane. I'm not a very good dancer.
I don't think you could be convinced last night.
Doesn't matter. When the glorious liquid flows through my veins, anything is possible.
That table will never be the same, Arn.
Stoically stares off into the distance.
that table will never be the same.
Ah, there will be more tables. More. Plenty of tables. Long tables in the great halls that we will conquer.
We'll put it on the list for booty taken during a raid.
There you go.
At least one new table.
You, Sane, can collect the tables. I shall collect the shinies. Excellent. I like this plan.
Oh, you broke it. You carry it.
Carrying a bloody table.
It will probably, in fact, be a bloody table.
Of course, it would be bloody. I would definitely, if I was to pick up a table, I'd have to use it as a weapon of some sort. You know, just give it a good swing.
That is perhaps vividly imagining Arn swinging a table that's literally like 3 people long, and seems very amused by this image she has conjured because, man, she gets right to that verge of laughing. Though she'll reach up and give one of his big ass shoulders a good smack of a pat. So are you only just now up?
Yes.
Enjoying the privileges of would-be fatherhood.
Am I not allowed an extended rest for once?
Goodness knows you deserve one. You worked hard enough to make it.
Exactly. Smiles.
She is again just on the verge of snickering and doing her best to keep it on the inside. It's fine. She's so stoic. Ugh. Have you seen your wife today?
I don't believe I have.
Were there ever such a time that I thought perhaps this is the time that she will be blessed with her first change? It has been while she is surrounded by every spinster in the village.
Blinks.
Have you? Oh, they have her repairing nets with the old and the infirm. She looks less than amused. You might want to rescue her once you're done with your patrol.
She'll see the happy smile went a second there. So maybe he didn't actually process what was just said. But then it's just kind of, oh, smiles. Yeah, she'd probably even see his hand kind of just flex that little bit. It's like, don't you dare tell me that. Don't you dare. Well, he smiles. Excellent. I'm sure she enjoys a good amount of fishing.
Fishing is one thing. Repairing nets, not the most illustrious of duties.
No. I'm quite surprised she's even managed to stick it this long anyway.
Oh, she's a trooper, that one.
Of course she is. That's why I married her.
No, of course it is.
Never find a woman like that. Smirks.
I suppose you don't.
No, you don't. You should aspire to it someday, Sane. Starts walking.
The eyebrows kind of pop up like, really? Just shoots a glance after him. She weighs it for a second. Nah, he's probably still feeling the drink. He gets a surprising amount of leeway because an excuse for punch face really is just an excuse for punch face. But in this case, he catches the playful eye and arrow like, da-na-na, is that a challenge?
It's kind of the smile of, you know what I just did.
Oh, she was picking up what you were putting down. She finally gives her eyes a bit of a roll and tries to let this one go. We'll see if he lets it end there.
Of course not. As he turns round and bows, but of course we are all tied by this mortal coil until our glory bestows upon us.
Squints.
What?
Perhaps you're better off speaking plainly, Arn. Is there something you wanted to say? There's the head tilt, and again that watching your shit.
Hmm? Oh, there's plenty I want to say, Sonny, but I am a controlled and respectable man.
Are you?
Yes. Would you not think so? I'm quite offended you wouldn't think so.
There are many words I could use to describe you, Arn.
I am the epitome of self-control.
Oh,
Yes,
are you?
exactly that.
She loops back around. She was gonna keep walking. Oh no, we're walking together now. We're best friends. Just, drapes the hand up on his shoulder. So casual, so friendly. Self-controlled, self-controlled. Hmm. No, that's just not one that comes to mind.
Why? What would you say then?
The word impulsive does come to mind here and there.
Not? Is that it?
Which might in fact be literal opposite.
And your point?
She just kind of looks at him like, wait.
Are you making a point here, Sana? Are you just trying to insult me?
Ah, I think I'm gonna have to go with
it.
I'm saying you're full of shit. I think that's what I'm gonna have to go with.
You don't understand the amount of control I have of my impulsiveness. I'm
Is that
impulsive,
how that?
yes, but I'm only impulsive in the ways I wish to be.
Really?
Yes.
And you impulsively wished to destroy a table last night.
Of course. I'm good at doing that. Did you not hear me earlier? I'm good at killing things. I killed the fuck out of that table.
She sweeps a hand, broadly indicating the horizon and the distinct lack of fucking trees on said horizon. And where shall we get another Arn?
Turns around, points to where the sea is. Where this land meets the sea, Sane.
You're looting a table next raid.
I'm not looting one. I'm looting them all.
Okay, she finally loses it and starts breaking into snickers. Competitive table looting it is.
Well, they'll never know. They'll hide all their shinies, and of course we'll take those too. But they will come in, steal their tables, and they'll never know what hit them.
Whatever will they do?
No, they'll have no tables. They'll have nowhere to sit, nowhere to feast. They'll be sitting on the floor like the peasantry they are. And then we shall murder them all.
A little head bobble, pretty solid point there. And then we shall murder them all. Side glance. Shrug.
What?
There's just the shrug of acceptance. Solid point too.
Grins. Yes, of course I'm right. See, Sane, I need to think outside the box.
Oh. I shall strive hard to be so forward-thinking as you are.
Cunning. Cunning.
Is that the word we're using?
That's the exact word we're using, and we shall always use said word.
The slightest head shake with a broad grin again. As you say, Trimbusid, claps him on the back.
If I'm not one thing, Sana, is it not entertaining?
She finally goes to peel off again to head back towards the village. You are that. You are certainly that.
So he starts walking off towards wherever the fuck his wife is. It's kind of like, oh, you would have been awfully bored without me on here, though, wouldn't you?
And again, he sees her kind of like, she doesn't stop walking, but kind of heaves up the shrug, you know, arms out to the side, like, eh!
Does she look back?
No, not initially.
Whistles.
It pauses, and yeah, shoots a glance over her shoulder, like, what?
Winks. It's like, yeah.
He pulls a grin out of her again. And yeah, there's a mild head shake, and she keeps walking. Because bless him, at least he's Arn.
Damn right. He'll make his way towards where the wife is. Yes, to the wife. Onward.
Your beloved waifu has about this expression as she has been ambushed by at least one of the much older kinfolk. Probably one of the Fiskers, because there's just so goddamn many of them. It's just easy to assume almost any random kinfolk's a Fisker, but yeah, she's just standing there and nodding and puts on that pained, like, oh yes, of course, smile, just nodding and nodding, and for the love of all that is holy, is actually like here and there, like glancing, like peering offside, as if scouting for enemies, scouting for an ambush.
So as the two are talking, it's kind of the comedy thing where, like, I'm assuming there's obviously a gap between them where they're stood facing each other.
Yeah.
Arda stands in between them, facing his wife.
I'm not gonna lie. As she catches you on the approach, she's, this kinfolk is just on and 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 on. And she just very suddenly is like, beloved husband, like, oh, thank God. Raises an arm to him. And yeah, he's able to step between them with ease, and the grateful expression is so real. The police saved me. They'd never stop.
And he turns around to the kinfolk, smiles.
And this kinfolk is one of the older women, and she's like, "Oh, Warren, da 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 da. You must be so proud."
Oh, and of course I'm proud. I'm never not proud. I'm Arn, of course. Flexes.
God damn it, Tom! I can't. And she just feeds right back into it, and the nattering starts, and there's so much chatter. There's so much.
Yep. Oh yeah, just eating it up. Just like, yes, look at me and my oiled nipples. Essentially.
You know what? Perception alertness. Because this is beautiful.
Of course he's gonna soak up this shit.
Just to see if you notice as you are soaking up just praise and blessings and blah. Oh yeah.
Fucking notice something.
You notice that like as you're there and you have pulled the aggro, your wife is taking advantage of this, and you'll see her slip off and into the hut that you share, like, oh god. She makes good her escape as you are performing a distraction. And it's funny because it's very kind of Mission Impossible, where she like slips around while you've got that one woman distracted and like cranes a glance around a corner. And you see her like pull back like, huh, as a group of again, just the mothers of the village, just all walking in a group and chattering and nattering and going on and on and on. And, glancing around here and there, but they wander past in a little mob. And as soon as they've passed, she, like, again, it's very Mission Impossible. She'd, like, da, 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 and, like, slips into your hut, like...
Full dolphin dive combat roll. Into
taking cover and finally going for the dive, like, oh, God.
Of course, on being the pinnacle of, well, everything, of course, it's on. Uh, no, he's just soaking it up. Just like, yes, yes, of course, everything. I'm fantastic, aren't I? Of course I am.
Oh
I
God.
kill things for a living. I'm good at it.
Yep. And naturally, if you are not careful, this gaggle of women spots you and the woman who is with you, and they divert. They're coming for you.
What do you mean? If I'm, what was the word you used? I can't even remember. But anyway, he sees them. They start coming towards him. And he's like, yes, yes.
Arn is delayed for a solid, like, if he lets it go on, like a solid half hour of just, oh, look at you, and your wife is just
Yep.
positively glowing and
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, he just soaks it up. Then suddenly, just kind of like mid conversation, he's like, "Ladies."
and they abruptly kind of like cease. There's that perfect moment of pause as most of them are looking towards him, like, wait.
I must go now. My people need me.
And they're like, oh yes, of course, of course, of course. We'll just go, back to the nets. Da, 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 and they start moving off in a mob.
And he just, just like, yes, of course. Just walk through them like, haha, I got this. Yeah, and he just stride back to his hut.
And wouldn't you know it, your wife is hiding in there. Oh God, she's taking cover. Okay, she hasn't actually taken cover. Once she's inside the hut, she's pretty chill. She is just flopped out on the bed like that, exasperated, like flop. There's sprawling involved. She's just. It's kind of like that thing you do at the end of a workday where you get home and you're just like fucking people, blah, and flop out. So she does look up and smile as you make your way in. And it's just like, oh, thank you for the intervention.
Well, of course. I would do anything to save my darling wife.
Worse than a battlefield. She kind of picks up a hand, like stretched out towards him.
Oh, yeah, and he just, he doesn't even go for that. And just like grabs the arm, yanks her up, picks her up. It's like, yes, haha.
He scoops her. He gets a kiss on the cheek because he is, after all, a valiant hero for saving her from a bunch of old women.
Yep, fierce warrior.
Fierce warrior.
Not only a master in spilling blood, but also a master and a cunning one at that.
She broadly smiles because you know what? Fuck it. She's just as bad as they are when it comes to stroking his ego. And, the most cunning. Another kiss on the cheek.
Why does everybody feed this guy's ego?
Because he's got so much. He's so Fenris. So Fenris. This is literally just the situation he's been reared in.
It is fantastic.
It's almost like part of the reason she managed to land this marriage. It's like, hey girl, I think you're the hottest shit ever, and I'm going to tell you so all the time.
Fucking brilliant. Well, anyway, as he twirls her around a bit and kind of drops her down again. So what is the news then, Mayor? Is everything going swimmingly? Snickers a bit.
She, is propped down and all smiles after a bit of a swinging around because affection. Yay. But she'll finally plop down and even go so far as to snag his arm, pull him down to sit with her. In fact, probably as soon as he's sat, crawl half on top of him because that's how she do. Your sister talked to me.
Oh, what did she say now?
And she just reaches up, and it's like the consolation, like the little pat on the cheek, like, oh, it's not so bad. Oh, it was It was nothing untoward. Just we had a talk, woman to woman.
Just like blinks. Like, yes, you are both women. I would hope so. I've been calling you wife and her sister for a good long while now.
Damn it, I love him so much.
Does that's going through his head, and then he kind of clicks. Wait, of course you're a woman. I would know. Looks down. She'll see him look down. Looks back up. So it's her. Sips drink.
Pardon?
Like just internally, it's like yes, it is her that is not the. Wait, no, no. Oh shit, she's talking again. Concentrate.
She is. She is talking again. And she's said something about blah 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 training grounds, which is probably about where he tunes back in. Like what?
Training grounds. Yes, they're great. Love them.
Yeah. Well, of course. We both do. Another light, like pat on the cheek, like, "Oh, you."
Like internally, like yes, got away with it.
He did. He totally did.
Shit, she's talking again. Concentrate.
Something about he zones back in, and it's like, oh yes, and God, what's a good line for him to finally zone back in on? This is the best.
You thought this was going to be a meaningful conversation. No, it's Arn stroking his own ego. Wow, he's dodging conversation with his own wife.
I love it so much.
What did you expect?
It's so beautiful. Something about, christen this child in the blood of our enemies. She's very into this right now. She's being so, she's just that beautiful bloodlusting glee type thing. I mean, she's not as fanatical as your sister is by any means, but she definitely has some feels about that proper get way.
He nods like, oh yeah. Yes, whatever you say. What? What did you say? It's kind of like the look.
And so yeah, blah blah blah, and have this child christened in blood, and she's concerned that were I to keep fighting at the front, you would be distracted, and reaches up and strokes his jawline, like, because we can't have that.
Puts down the drink. Adopts a very serious look, in fact. I look for.
Does he have a serious face? Is that
I'm trying to find one.
You get 10 points if you find one.
That's pretty close.
Oh, that'll work. No bedroom eyes, though.
Damn right.
That's as close to a serious face as she's used to seeing, I'm sure. It's fine.
And he looks brushes all that dusty golden mane backwards. As much, as I'd love to see. Child baptized in blood. On the battlefields. Distracting myself is not something I can let happen. What if, man? Of course, having someone as stunningly beautiful as you on the battlefield, such glowing radiance. Barely held myself together already.
Oh, she is just bloomingly happy. Just look at her. She's practically glowing.
But however, as long as I do disagree a lot with my sister, this I do think she is quite right on.
Yes, I should hate to see you misstep, because you are concerned about me and the child.
Precisely.
So I've decided, at least for the soon coming raids, until, she kind of idly rubs at her stomach. until I'm to the point where even the child keeps me from fighting, I'll simply stay back with the kinfolk and reinforce. Broad smile. Not the answer he wanted. Just, oh, don't worry. I'll still fight, honey. I'll stay back. It'll be fine. Big, brilliant smile.
He just kind of, as her hands, kind of clasps her hands with his hand. Hmm. Even still, Mayor, what would happen if they attacked the boat?
We would defend it, of course.
If Garu would attack the boat, Mayor, and it was just you and the kinfolk, what would I do?
Well, of course, you would rip them to shreds.
But I'm doing the raiding. I'm stealing my tables.
Blink. She just kind of looks at him like, what?
I've been told we need tables, and I will steal them all.
She still just looks so perplexed.
It's part of my upcoming cunning plan. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Yes.
There's a nod, like, yes. Clearly there's something I'm missing that's super important. Otherwise, why would my husband do such a strange thing?
You almost said stupid.
I would never.
If I was away raiding, pillaging, they sneak around and attack the boat.
Then I will do my duty, as will the rest of the kinfolk.
Smiles. You would.
But at least I will be among my shield brothers.
You would. You would.
Firm nod. Like, of course. What else could I possibly do?
I raise you this. Smiles. What about this duty? He just pokes to her stomach.
It's all the more reason. Not simply stop raiding. Want this child to be strong.
Scratches his beard.
What would Fenris bless more than a child who came along on the raids? Even before he was born, he is taking life through me.
And of course, spurred on by his father's rage. Yes.
There's a nod like, yes!
Yes!
like there's just that broad smile and the nodding, like, you get it. Yeah, exactly.
You do know how to use a bow, don't you?
She looks offended. Like, not seriously, just like, a bow.
Excellent. Then when you can no longer fight, you can rain fire on their lands.
Oh, she lights up. Oh, you've solved a problem for her. She just, oh my god, the adoration goes up 100 notches. It's terrible. It's really, like, this is the last thing he needs is encouragement. But she just, oh my god, that adoring, fawning smile, like, yes, of course. It's perfect.
Yes,
she, in fact, like, kind of lunges up and hugs around his neck.
Yes, we can maybe get a short bow of sorts fashioned. One, well, it doesn't get in the way. It doesn't take too much pressure to pull back, but still fires a nasty shot.
Yes. Yes, of course. Why didn't I think of it?
Because then when you truly cannot suffer the sickness of the boats, at least back here, you can fight until that baby crawls right out.
There's no illness that could bar me from the longboats.
Are you sure?
Oh, she is so sure. She is so not started experiencing morning sickness yet. She's so sure.
I've heard the strains of carrying such a, of course, glorious being such as myself, and put even a Valkyrie like you on her knees.
Oh God.
Smirks, just like,
Yeah,
yes.
intensifies.
Just like,
You're like,
yes.
never.
Yes.
Oh my God. She intensifies. I will not be brought to my knees by my own child. No, I will carry him proudly.
And then he, he just like the you know what now? There it is, just the yes, yes. You crazy bitch, come here, you.
She does come here, you. And then there's like elevator music. As it fades to black.
And suddenly, as the camera pans in, there is Maya's fast asleep. As Arn is lying in bed, just kind of laying in bed, staring up at the roof of the tent. His eyes blink wide open as he suddenly realizes, oh shit, I've just made it worse.
Look at her. She's so happy and so sated. Aww. And you did.
Shit. I've just undone everything Astra did.
There's just because he has this shocking revelation, there will be a ping from this location through the link. Like, it is everything okay?
And through the link is don't mind me, just fucking my wife.
And it cuts short. Just like, you're just poof. So many worlds of nope happen right there in record time.
See, Aaron always knows exactly what to say.
He does.
I think with that revelation, it would be beautiful just to end.
It is. It's the perfect place. As Arn realizes that his cunning plan has backfired, he'll call it a scene.